Welcome to a deep dive into one of the most startling biological discoveries of the last decade. Today we are looking at a creature that challenges our fundamental understanding of individuality, neuroscience, and evolution. We are talking about the warty comb jelly, or Mnemiopsis leidyi. If you follow marine biology, you might know them as an invasive species, but a study published in late 2024 has revealed that they are something far stranger. They are capable of neural fusion. That means two separate individuals can merge their bodies and their nervous systems to become a single functioning entity. This isn't science fiction. It is happening in laboratories right now, and the implications are massive. Let's start with how this was discovered, because like many great scientific breakthroughs, it began with a mistake. At the Marine Biological Laboratory in Woods Hole, Massachusetts, Dr. Keiji Okura and his team were maintaining a tank of these comb jellies. These are translucent, walnut-sized invertebrates that drift through the water, refracting light with their beating cilia. They are beautiful, but they are also standard lab animals. Nothing unusual was expected. But one day, Okura looked into the tank and saw a jelly that looked wrong. It was unusually large. It had two back ends, or arboreal ends, and two sensory apical organs, instead of the usual one. It looked like two animals had been stitched together. Most people would assume this was a birth defect, perhaps a conjoined twin situation. But the team had a different, more radical idea. They hypothesized that two adult jellies had actually fused. To test this, they performed what they later called Frankenstein experiments. They took distinct individuals of Mnemiopsis leidyi and surgically removed small portions of their lobes. This created minor injury sites. They then pinned the two animals together, pressing the injured areas against each other. In the animal kingdom, this usually results in rejection. If you grafted tissue from one human to another without immunosuppressants, the immune system would attack it. Even in simple organisms, there is usually a mechanism to recognize self versus non-self. But with the comb jellies, something incredible happened. In 9 out of 10 trials, the animals fused. Within a single night, the boundary between them disappeared. They became one seamless gelatinous body. But the structural merger was just the beginning. The researchers needed to know if the fusion was superficial or functional. They poked one side of the fused creature. Immediately, the entire body flinched. Both halves reacted. This meant that the nervous systems hadn't just touched. They had integrated. Information was traveling from the brain of one animal into the muscles of the other. To confirm this, they measured the timing. Within just 2 hours of fusing, 95% of the muscle contractions were completely synchronized. This speed is baffling. For a nervous system to rewire itself, that quickly suggests a biological architecture that is completely alien to how we understand neurology in humans or other animals. To explain how this is possible, we have to revisit a century-old scientific feud. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, two titans of neuroscience, Santiago Ramon y Cajal and Camilo Golgi, argued about the structure of the nervous system. Cajal proposed the neuron doctrine, stating that the nervous system is made of individual, discrete cells that communicate across gaps called synapses. Golgi, on the other hand, proposed the reticular theory. He believed the nervous system was a continuous meshwork, a single fused web, or syncytium, where cells shared a continuous cytoplasm. Cajal won that debate. For humans and almost every other animal, the neuron doctrine is correct. We have discrete neurons. But this new discovery in comb jellies suggests that Golgi was actually right, at least for them. Recent electron microscopy shows that the nerve net of Mnemiopsis leidyi is, in part, syncytial. Their neurons are fused. They share a continuous membrane. This explains the rapid fusion. When the two jellies touch, their nerve nets don't have to grow complex new synapses. They simply plug in. It is like connecting two extension cords. The electrical signal flows through the new connection instantly. This architectural difference is a massive clue in the study of evolution. It supports the hypothesis that comb jellies are not just primitive relatives of jellyfish, but something distinct entirely. There's a debate in evolutionary biology called the Sitenophore first hypothesis. It suggests that comb jellies split off from the rest of the animal kingdom before sponges did. If that is true, and considering their unique fused nervous system, it implies that the nervous system might have evolved twice completely independently. Once in the lineage of comb jellies, and once in the lineage that led to humans, jellyfish, and insects. They are, effectively, an alien experiment in complex life that has been evolving on Earth for 600 million years. But let's move from the microscope to the organism itself, because the lack of boundaries in these animals goes beyond just nerves. The researchers found that the digestive tracts also merged. When they fed fluorescently labeled brine shrimp to one mouth of the fused chimera, they watched the food particles travel through the canals of both bodies. One mouth could feed the entire dual system. This brings us to the question of identity. In biology, we talk about allorecognition. This is the ability to distinguish your own cells from foreign cells. It is the basis of immunity. The fact that Mnemiopsis leidyi can fuse so easily suggests they lack this system, or it is incredibly primitive. They do not see a neighbor as a threat. They see them as a potential extension of the self. This lack of self-preservation borders offers a survival advantage. If you are injured in the open ocean, finding a partner to merge with might be better than bleeding out. It is a survival strategy that values life over individuality. Now, you might be thinking these are just fragile, passive blobs. But you would be wrong. To understand the gravity of this creature, we have to look at its history as one of the most successful conquerors on the planet. Mnemiopsis leidyi is native to the western Atlantic, but in the 1980s, it was accidentally scooped up in the ballast water of cargo ships and dumped into the Black Sea. The results were catastrophic. In an environment with no natural predators, the population exploded. At the peak of the invasion in 1989, researchers estimated there were 400 specimens per cubic meter of water. That is effectively a soup of jellyfish. They have a voracious appetite. Unlike true jellyfish that wait for prey to hit their tentacles, comb jellies are hunters. They use their cilia to create a hydrodynamically silent current, a stealth vacuum that sucks prey into their mouths. They decimated the zooplankton population in the Black Sea. This caused the starvation of the anchovy population, which led to the total collapse of the local fisheries and a devastating economic crisis for the region. They are biological tanks. They can regenerate from tiny fragments of their bodies. They can withstand massive changes in temperature and salinity. And now we know they can fuse together to heal wounds. They possess a weapon called colloblasts. Cnidarians, like jellyfish, use nematocysts to sting. Ctenophores, like Mnemiopsis, use colloblasts, which are specialized cells that burst on contact to release a spiral filament coated in super-strong adhesive. They do not sting their prey, they glue them to death. This combination of stealth hunting, rapid regeneration, glue weaponry, and now neural fusion makes them one of the most resilient life forms we have ever studied. So why does this matter to us, beyond the cool factor? It matters because Mnemiopsis leidyi is rewriting the rules of regeneration. Humans are terrible at healing. If you get a deep cut, your body patches it with scar tissue. Scar tissue is a patch job. It doesn't function like the original skin, and it certainly doesn't restore severed nerves perfectly. Comb jellies, however, engage in scarless wound healing. They restore the exact tissue architecture that was lost. By studying the molecular signals that allow their nerves to reconnect so seamlessly, scientists hope to find targets for nerve regeneration therapies in humans. Furthermore, the lack of immune rejection offers a unique window into transplant science. While we cannot simply turn off the human immune system, understanding how these jellies integrate foreign tissue without inflammation could inspire new approaches to organ transplantation. In conclusion, the discovery of the Frankenstein comb jellies is a reminder that our definitions of individual and self are not universal laws. They are just one way nature solved the problem of existence. In the human world, we are solitary fortresses, biologically walled off from one another. In the world of the comb jelly, the boundaries of the self are fluid. They are ancient, they are resilient, and they are stranger than we ever imagined. As they drift through the ocean's twilight zone, flashing their rainbow lights, they carry with them the secrets of the very first nervous systems and the potential to rewrite the future of medicine. The sea walnut is no longer just a pest. It is a window into a deep, alternate history of life on Earth.